That's the third problem. And the fourth problem, which is also for me a very important bottleneck, is that all these projects really requires to have governments in the critical path. And for me, this is yet a big issue, a bottleneck, because in lots of countries you have unstable government, you have potentially corrupted, potentially dictatorial government, and if you have to rely on government, then you limit the potential of ICT and the potential to deploy solutions. So on the overall, I believe that the results are less than satisfactory on this concept since about, again, 15 years. So now let's have a look at what mobile phone will bring. So mostly, a mobile phone is a minimal computing power in the hands of billions of people, and it's a minimal network. So now you can rely already on this minimal infrastructure, and that's lower all the cost of all projects you will be able to try. So now, because you have this minimal connectivity, you can focus people from the ICT domain, can focus on services. So that's why, for me, that's one of the reasons why you suddenly start to see far more sector-specific conference or work. So now you have lots of people trying to understand how to help rural farmers, how to help health workers. So now there are more and more work specifically on the service side and no more only on the connectivity. That's the first point. The second point, which is also really important, is that by providing this minimal connectivity, mobile phone allow people to think big, to think at the society level, at the country level. And it's allow people to think not only in terms of pilots, but also at a large-scale project. So you see now projects trying to provide the finance service to continents and things like that. So this minimal connectivity and this huge coverage allow that kind of switch. And that's the cornerstone of our own approach. It's also a new opportunity for a bottom-up approach. So I will detail that in the next slide. So what is bottom-up approach? We also say empowering people. So the idea is to move from this concept of development content coming from development agency and reaching people as just recipients of this content to a principle where people are actor and contributor and have a way to voice their need and really do what they need for their community, what's meaningful for their community and their village. So, yeah, the idea is to really open ICT from just development agency to these millions of very small NGOs which are working at the community, the village level, and allows them to be able to provide the service for their community. Put that up. So why it is important for us? I see, again, here four major reasons. So first of all, I really believe that's the only way to have an impact at the global level. It's only, for me, it's only the sum of small drops that will really improve the global situation and improve the life of people locally. If you really rely on development agency, you have only a small number of potential people being able to develop services. If you rely on this huge base of NGOs, you have the opportunity to see far more services. So that's one point. The second point, and that's also very important for me, having this bottom-up approach allows to open it to entrepreneurship. And that's another sector which is really important, is to imagine that people will create service for development for their business, and that's a way to create a new sector of activity. like was ICT in the Western world, but that's also a way to see new, very innovative services flourishing. Because when people are really connected to the needs of people, of their community, and they are also willing to imagine a new business for them, they will create innovative solutions. So that's the second point. The third point, and that's also something I mentioned in the previous slide, it puts governments out of the critical path. Of course, there are tasks that are relevant to the government. If you want to have a global education system at the country level, if you want to gather data about epidemia, there are things that are in the domain of the government. But there are lots of other areas where, again, governments are more a bottleneck than a solution. And particularly, we see that in activism, when you see more and more countries where you have small NGOs monitoring elections and putting pressure on the government. And that's exactly my, my last point here, is that if you empower people, if you allow them to put pressure on the government by being able to exchange information and comment and organize the protest against silly actions of governments, then the governments are going to do less silly things for their people. And because for now, they are not responsible for really for their actions. Here I particularly recommend a video from Iqbal Kadir, which is the founder of Grameenphone, which is exactly presenting in an incredible way this concept of putting pressure on government. So I really recommend watching this video. So empowering people is a great concept. Sorry. So it's a great concept. What are the barriers? For me, I see three major barriers. First of all, availability of expertise. If you really want people to be able to develop mobile content and services, they need to know how to do that. So we need to develop capacity on mobile ICT for the current sector, which is NGOs, entrepreneur, IT sector, so that they are enabled to develop those services. But we also have to think about the future actor of the society, which are the students. So we have also to work with university in Africa, in South America, in Southeast Asia, on developing curriculum and degree at university to enable students on mobile ICT. I'm not saying that we should remove all the computer science departments working on desktop, but if we really believe that the future of developing countries is mobile, we have to have specific expertise developed on this topic. And it's very, very rare today to find universities that are having such curriculum. So that's the first point. So you may be you may have the expertise to develop services, but you need tools. Of course, you need to be supported to author tools, to author your service, to deploy it. So you really need tools, and a key point here are, of course, free and open source. We need also to look at the specificity of the platform. For instance, lots of people are still considering that mobile phone is just a platform to receive content, but now they start to have a new idea around that, the fact that mobile phone could be also an authoring platform, and that's also a concept that needs to be explored further, but because that's really important. If you really believe that mobile phone is the computer of Africa, which is a great sentence by Mary yesterday. If you really believe that mobile phone is the computer of Africa, then it has to be an authoring platform. So